Hi, this is Miss Wright, and I am going to talk about the motif, the first motif in the Odyssey. The first question that we should ask is, what is a motif? Motif is an important and sometimes recurring theme or idea in a work of literature, a distinctive feature or dominant idea in an artistic or literary composition. So you may be thinking, okay, Miss Wright, that sounds good, but I really don't know what you're talking about. So let's focus on this word, recurring. A motif is something that typically comes back throughout the story because it can be one of the unifying elements in a story. And a motif can sometimes build up in importance and detail as the story goes on, pointing us towards some of the themes or important ideas in the story. Sometimes a theme and a motif are the same thing. A lot of times, a motif is pointing us towards putting together ideas about the theme. Okay, so around this screen, I put 4 flowers because they represent a motif. These floral elements, like elements on a wallpaper that repeat and repeat and repeat until they fill the wall, represent a motif. A motif is something that keeps coming back. The death of Agamemnon. In the bright hall of Zeus upon Olympus, the other gods were all at home, and Zeus, the father of gods and men, made conversation, for he had meditated on Aegisthus, dead by the hand of Agamemnon's son Orestes, and spoke his thought aloud before them all. So you're Zeus, you're the king of the gods. You could be thinking about anything that you want to. And what are you thinking about? You're thinking about human beings, mortal, fallible human beings. And which person are you thinking about? Aegisthus. Aegisthus, who doesn't exactly represent the best of humankind because he's a betrayer, he's an adulterer, he's a murderer. Okay? So why? Well, we're going to find out why Zeus is kind of fixated right now or meditating on Aegisthus. This is a picture of Zeus and his symbol, the eagle, and his symbol, the lightning bolt. Right. My word, how mortals take the gods to task. All their afflictions come from us, we hear. And what of their own failings, greed and folly? Double the suffering in the lot of man. See how Aegisthus, for his double portion, stole Agamemnon's wife and killed the soldier on his homecoming day? And yet Aegisthus knew that his own doom lay in this. Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's break this down. So Zeus is thinking, how mortals take the gods to task, meaning mortals gripe and complain about our behavior. They blame us for things. All their afflictions come from us, we hear. So he's saying that the humankind blames the gods for everything bad that happens to them. And he's making the case in front of the other gods that this is not true. And what if their own failings? So that's a rhetorical question. And he's saying, what about them? Aren't they responsible for some of the things that happen to them? It's not just us. I mean, yeah, we do it sometimes, but it's not just us. And he identifies 2 things that bring suffering to man: greed and folly, meaning foolishness. And we should keep this in mind because as we read, we want to see, well, is this true? Zeus is making an argument that people cause their own suffering, and it's very often caused by greed and foolishness. And he says that they actually double the suffering in the lot of man. See how Aegisthus, now he uses Aegisthus as an object lesson. See how Aegisthus, for his double portion, right? His double portion stole Agamemnon's wife and killed the soldier on his home. A double betrayal. You take his wife and then you kill the man. And yet, it just this knew, this is really important, knew that his own doom lay in this. The fact that it just this does something that he's received a prophecy or information saying that don't do this because if you do it, it's going to be the worst thing that you could do. You're going to ruin your life. Don't do it. And yet he does it anyway. And, you know, it seems to just be part of human nature that even when we are warned not to do something, we are either curious or defiant or belligerent, something, and we do it anyway. So it says, we gods had warned him, sent down Hermes Argiphantes, our most observant courier, to say, don't kill the man, don't touch his wife, or face a reckoning with Orestes the day he comes of age and wants his patrimony. Friendly advice, but would Aegisthus take it? Now he has paid the reckoning in full. Okay, so let's unpack this part. So we, the gods, we sent him a warning. We sent Hermes down to tell him, don't do it. Don't kill him. Don't touch his wife. Don't have anything to do with it. By the way, this is an example of anaphora with a don't and the don't. Or face a reckoning with Orestes. We know Orestes was Agamemnon's son. This is important because in ancient society, a son would feel compelled as a matter of honor to avenge the death of his father, the murder of his father. He would not want to live if he thought that he could not avenge the murder of his father. So it's part of his pride and his identity that he must, even if he loses his own life in the process, he must avenge the death of his father. The day he came of age. I highlighted came of age because we've been reading coming of age stories, and in a sense, the Odyssey for the young man, Telemachus, and the younger man in the story is about coming of age and what it means to be a man in Greek society. And the word patrimony is highlighted because patrimony means his inheritance, everything that he is deserving by being the son of Agamemnon. Friendly advice. So the gods were trying to be nice. They were trying to help him out, trying to be nice, and he ignored them. He did not take their advice, and he ends up suffering a horrible fate. Okay. All right, so that is the first motif. And you, as you read, will see references back to the death of Agamemnon, the revenge of Orestes, the fate of Aegisthus, even the behavior of Clytemnestra, who is Agamemnon's wife. All of the characters that are involved in this murder, betrayal plot get mentioned throughout the story because the author is setting us up for the last section of the story when Odysseus himself is going to return home, and what kind of reception is Odysseus going to get? Is it going to be just like Agamemnon, or is it going to be different? And if so, how is it different? So as you're reading, pay attention to the motif. Sometimes the motif is a whole chapter. There's a whole chapter that deals with this kind of an issue. Okay? So that's all I can do for today. Shout out to all my fabulous students, period 3 and period 7 especially. You guys are really hardworking and I'm really proud of you. Keep up the great job and I will see you back in class. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.